what's up, my niggas? Nah, but for real though, it's like it's been a while since I've been on social media, and mainly it's because of this whole, uh, I guess, Afro advocate thing that I'm trying to do. You know, trying to actually look out for our community, right? And turns out you try to lead a horse to water, the horse is actually going to get mad at you and kick you in the fucking jaw. And that's pretty much has been my experience with the whole. I mean, I guess we could equate this to the story of Jonah from the Bible, in which, you know, God tells him to tell the people of his village that they're fucking retarded. And so he's just like, of course, he's like, no, I'm not going to do that because, you know, they're going to hate me. And that's true. While that is true, it's not like God's going to save him from being hated by people emotionally. You know, he still has some stuff that needs to be said, right? And so he decides not to say it. And of course, the state goes into ruin. They end up having to actually like exit, trying to flee, you know. And so he gets on this boat with like all these other people. And as they're out going, trying to travel, turns out there's a storm afoot. And it just like rocks the boat and shakes everything, and it just gets worse and worse and worse to the point where people are starting to want to throw people overboard to try to fix the storm, because they're like, well, I mean, it's a storm this bad. It was all clear and shit when we set out, but now it's all like, you know, stormy and shit. We must have did something wrong. And so they're thinking about who's doing something wrong and who to throw overboard. And Jonah was kind of like, well, yeah, this is probably me. God told me to do something and I didn't do it. And so, you know, I'm just like recounting the story of Jonah because I feel like it's very important before I get into what I'm trying to get into here. So he, you know, admits like, hey, you know, it might have actually been me that's been doing the wrongdoing. God wanted me to say some stuff and I didn't say it, you know. And so they reluctantly, keyword reluctantly, throw him overboard. And he gets swallowed by a beast. And, you know, once he decides for himself that he's actually going to tell these people how they did wrong and, you know, actually amend his wrongs, the beast spits him out and he ends up on land again, you know, in the very place where he should be. And I think that's kind of where I am. I'm still in the middle of the storm right now. Well, I wouldn't say I'm in the middle of the storm. I'm in the belly of the beast right now. All my past stuff on social media was a storm. Right now I'm in the belly of the beast because I've decided it's like, yeah, a lot of people aren't going to like me for what I say, but it's shit that has to be said because we risk in trying to, okay, here's the problem with our whole philosophy. Our philosophy, because of where we came from, when we say stuff like, oh yeah, we need to, you know, squash out this racism and speak out against all these evils and injustices that are going on against us and stuff. The reason it's so valid to us is because there was a time not too long ago, like literally not that long ago, like less than 100 years, like 50 would leave us in the 78. So, yeah, more so 100, more than 50, but less than 100 years ago, like that was extremely valid, right? But in today's society, it's like not so much. Like we got stuff like affirmative action and like actual tax benefits for employing people of different minorities. You know, you got everybody and their mama like knowing that they can't say the N-word unless specifically given express permission to. You know, like we're very, very, very sensitive towards any of our people being killed by the police, especially if they're unarmed, you know, and all sorts of stuff that would just be, honestly, if we were where we think we are, we wouldn't even be able to be mad about certain stuff that we're mad at, right? And so I've just been trying to figure out the best way to explain it without all this anger and all this stuff that came with, because I was like pissed about the backlash I was getting from the stuff I was saying, right? And so, I mean, I guess my main point is like we need to focus on getting our money, man, because all this old SJW shit, oh, gentrification and cultural appropriate, nobody gives a fuck about all those things. Like, to be honest, nobody gives a single fuck about any of those, but maybe us. And even when it comes to us, the people that are affluent enough to actually, be affected by gentrification, because I'm honestly, like, I'm in the position I don't really give a fuck where I live as long as I can afford the shit, which is not too many places, right? And a lot of us are in that same situation, so we're not really too worried about gentrification. You might say, oh, well, gentrification is the reason why a lot of places are so high. Well, if that's going to be the reason why certain places are so high, that's also the reason why other places, like the place I'm staying now that I'm being assisted with, are so low, right? You can't just take one part of the equation, disregard the other part, and just say, well, fuck it, it doesn't confirm with my bias, so fuck it, to hell with it, right? There's a lot of stuff that goes against what I'm even saying now. That, I mean, I've already acknowledged the fact that, like, slavery was terrible and horrible, the fact that it wasn't even really that long ago, the fact that it was definitely white people that did it, It's like you have an easy enemy for it. I mean, it's like, I understand where a lot of this, okay, I won't say it's animosity or hatred, from the other side, because I've been on the other side, believe it or not, where, I'm sitting there like, yeah, gentrification, all this other shit, right? It feels like white people that did us wrong in the past are continuing to do us wrong and don't really give a fuck about our well-being or our quality of life or anything of that, so we have to fight for it, and do what the fuck we can to better ourselves within this community. The problem with that is, one, there's a lot of white people already out here working for our benefit, not even their own benefit. There's legitimately a lot of white people I know that I don't know if truly in their heart they feel this way, but at least outwardly, they fucking love us more than they love their own people, and that's something we could hardly ever say. So, like, it's just, we don't give white people, like, any credit. It's like, imagine you were getting nagged by a girlfriend for not making money, but you just applied to like 100, 150 jobs in the last week. You're going to be pretty fucking frustrated, right? And I'm feeling that sort of energy coming from a lot of my white friends and a lot of just anybody that's not black, right? It's like we're getting kind of, I wouldn't say uppity. We're getting tribal. That's what we're getting. We're so in tune with, oh, yeah, we got to look out for the black community, which one, we don't even fucking look out after. All our black entrepreneurs, they get kicked out, they're homeless, they're fucking starving and shit. If you're not going to school, you're not going to work, nobody wants to fucks with you. So to hell with all that making money and all that stuff. But anyway, we're so caught up in that, or we think that that's what we're caught up in, to the point where we're actually isolating, not only isolating other groups, but isolating ourselves from the people that feed us. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, like, I won't say white people feed us. Obviously, they don't feed us. We all feed everybody else. I won't say we all feed ourselves, because you don't drive any of the trucks or stock any of the, like, food or anything. Most of the reasons you're alive, you have absolutely nothing to do with, right? Matter of fact, you can use this for the black point too. It's like, look, we didn't really choose to come to this country. God damn, is life good here? Like, shit. You want to talk about, oh, how bad it is? Oh, we're struggling. Oh, my nigga, do you got a car? Do you have the ability to go to school? Do you have fucking water coming out of your walls? Then shut the fuck up, because like more than 60% of Africa ain't got that. All right, so just keep that shit straight. This is a first world country. Most people that, what the fuck? It's something broader than communities, but it's narrower than ethnicities, but cultures. Every culture, literally every single culture, and you can look this up, it's historically documented all throughout, like, just modern human history. One of the first parts of becoming part of the first world, or like one of the richer civilizations, is slavery. White people have to go through it too. The Irish had to go through it. Mexicans had to go through it. Asians had to go through it. Literally every culture in the entire world had to go through it. Ours might have been arguably the worst, but we also were the most technologically advanced at the time. So we had, really, the way to think about it is we had the most potential to be evil at the time, you know. But that's no reason to think that, oh, this makes white people worse people because the slavery was more brutal. It's just, no, they had better weapons, better psychological methods, better, you know, like you could go set up depots in Africa to get as many slaves as you can and bring as many as you can back, you know, which is something like maybe even 100 years before the slave trade started would not have been possible. Like, technological progress, it always has a good side and a bad side. Anyway, that was my main point. I probably have to like shut this down because I'm noticing it's going on kind of long. I don't want this to go on for like 15, 20 minutes. But also I'm noticing like some animosity from my side, my own like biases and all sorts of shit starting to come up. So I'm gonna leave off on this, and this is the original note. This is my whole point in making videos like this. Like I had other 30-minute long, 40-minute long videos and shit, and no, I had to delete them because they were using up all this space on my phone, but I wasn't necessarily comfortable enough to post them, right? So, I mean, I honestly should have probably started with this point, and I might end up editing this video to put this in the beginning too. But my main point, the whole reason I'm making these videos, the whole reason I say shit the way I do, the whole reason, it's for black empowerment. And it's not some, oh, I'm scared that white people are going to turn on us type shit. It's more so just, I notice the rest of the world, and especially the rest of America, it's not like, oh, it's white nationalism versus black nationalism. It's black nationalism versus humanitarian. That's why it wasn't Black Lives Matter versus White Lives Matter as well, or Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter. It was Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter, right? And you could say, oh, that's anti-black and all that stuff, right? And I used to believe that as well. Like, and a certain part of it is true, not gonna lie. But, what this is proof. Well, I won't say proof, because it's not proof towards a certain theory, but it is, at least in my opinion, like evidence towards the world's trying to move towards making us all one race. Like, we're just a human race, right? The main people stopping that movement from happening is us. And so, as much as we're against racism, we're against racism and all the like terrors and tragedies and horrors of the past. Well, the thing is, those horrors and tragedies and evils were actually caused by the exact mindset, the very same exact mindset. Well, I won't say very same exact because a lot of these people were coming from places of oppression and weren't coming from places of being oppressed, you know. So obviously it's a little bit different there. But that whole pride in your culture, pride in your skin color, the whole pride in, you know, you stop identifying as a human and you start identifying as a black man or a white man or an Asian American or whatever you want to identify as, then you lose your humanity and you start to become tribal. You start to become, you know, you're now part of that group. And that's all you are. You're a black man now. You're not a human being. You're a black man. And that's how you have to act. And that's how you have to think. And it's extremely constraining. For one, right? Two, it's going against the humanitarian thing that everybody's going. I know I said this before, but I didn't put it into a, you know, point like this. But everybody's moving towards making us one race and we're the ones stopping it, right? That's bad. We're supposed to be anti-racist, but that's probably the most racist thing you could do is say, okay, no, y'all could all have that, oh, we're all one race shit, but my people, we're a different breed. You know, it's racism, bro. Come on now. It's the definition of racism. But we don't see that, and a lot of us even say it, like a lot of us would probably agree, like, oh, if you're black, you can't be racist. No. You can be racist if you're black. There's no, oh, this means you think your race is superior unless you're part of these select few races. No, there's no little asterisk at the end of the definition. Racism is racism. You know what I mean? So the whole black pride shit. If you're not gonna like white pride, then you don't like black pride. African pride, maybe, but not black pride. If you're not gonna have white pride, right? If you're gonna set rules for certain people, you gotta follow those rules yourselves, or at the very least try to. And even if you don't, because I can understand not following rules. I mean, shit, I'm a hypocrite myself on a lot of things. But when somebody points it out, instead of getting mad at them and saying "fuck you" for pointing it out, it's like maybe actually like take the time to sit there and think like, damn, am I alienating, other races? Am I being tribal? Am I excluding people from things? Like, am I doing the very, very things that I'm judging and criticizing these people for? And really sit there and like think about that. And it's like, is that something you want to continue doing? Is that conducive to helping black people? Being a like full on hypocrite that everybody can see, is that actually conducive to our cause? And it's just really sit there and think, do you even care about our cause, or is it just about your own well-being? Or do you even care about any of that, or is it just staying on the side that most people agree with so that you don't have people disagreeing with you and you're not like disliked and shit, and all that other shit, like, social attunement and all that. Like, so that's where I feel like most of us are. We only like keep perpetuating this shit because, well, all the rest of the black people around us are on this shit, so why not, right? It's toxic, man. I can see it wearing on our relationship already, like right now in 2018, our relationship between white and black people as is. Like, we're starting to get weird looks again. If you're a white person hanging out with a black person, you're getting weird stares again, which I remember as I was growing up, like, 12 through, I'm now 22. The most part of that, when I'm able to consciously perceive and look at and, gauge everybody's emotions and stuff like that, it's like, you wouldn't get stared at for being black hanging out with a white friend, or vice versa, or having a white girlfriend or anything like that. But now it's suddenly an issue, all this shit, right? And a lot of it is becomes weird, the whole, black pride thing, the whole, man, it's gaining way too much momentum. Not saying, I don't think we need pride, or I don't think we need self-esteem or anything like that. It's like the last thing I want to do is see us fail. That is the absolute fucking last thing I want to do. But that is exactly why I'm making videos like this. And this shit's already fucking going on 10 minutes. 20 minutes, like I said, I didn't want it to. But I just had to make sure you knew, like, I'm for us, right? And for us, like, what would be the best thing for us is to actually assimilate. And I mean that on a personal level, like me being all rebellious, trying to do my own business and do all this other stuff I'm trying to do. I need to assimilate. So I'm being a hypocrite right now. But us, in total, like, we have to assimilate to this American society, right? And there's just fucking